Hey everybody, I thought I would run you through a little intro to QGIS quickly. QGIS can be downloaded from qgis.org if you go to download now. Windows download is pretty easy. There is a standalone installer for both 32-bit and 64-bit users. For those folks that are using Macs, this is a little bit more complicated. So you're going to click here for the Qgis QGIS download page. I guess this is a guy that spends a lot of time working on this for free. He develops all these installer modules for different open source programs. So what you're going to do actually is first install GDAL complete. You're going to follow the instructions there for the install. That's pretty well guided. You should probably also install the Python modules for plugins. QGIS is different than ArcGIS in that a lot of the functionality comes from modules that are written by individuals like us and added later on. So you actually have to sort of load and install them as you go. Next thing to do is download the actual build of QGIS and install that. And after that, you should be ready to go. When you open up QGIS, you're going to see something like this. You'll notice that it's very similar overall to ArcGIS. You can open projects here. You can add and remove toolbars here. Like for instance, I don't use grass, so I'm going to turn off the grass toolbar. You can add data very easily, but this is a little bit of a different system than ArcGIS. If you want to add layers, you actually have to go over and choose whether you want to add a particular vector layer or a raster layer. So for a vector layer, you're going to see something like this. You can hit browse, and now I'm going to add a shapefile of Ethiopia. We're going to open that. Now you can see that things are more or less the same as ArcGIS. You have your layers, content over here. You can right click on it. You can look at the attribute table. You can toggle editing, so you can start editing a feature, any sort of thing like that. You can also add raster layers, none of which I have really set up here for you, but that's easy enough. The one thing that I want to point out that is very different than ArcGIS is this plugins thing. So there is a sort of built-in and defined set of functions that are available to you for both, for vector databases, for raster data processing, everything from zonal statistics to proximity, so distance to an object. For vector, maybe you want to check topology. Maybe you want to make a set of random points. All of that can be done through here. Functionality can be added to ArcGIS if there's functions that you can't find that you want to use by going to plugins and manage and install plugins. From here you can see the list of the installed plugins, and you can look at ones that have not been installed. Each one of these packages, each one of these plugins has been developed by some individual out there that has a little too much time on their hands. And what you'll find is there's a rating and a description of what it does. Maybe you want to add something like the open layers. So Open Layers plugin is going to allow you to access OpenStreetMap, Google Maps, and Bing Maps as base layers. So if you want to do that, install the plugin. It's going to install it. And what you're going to find is there's going to be, and actually I don't know where it pops up, but if you search your toolbars here, you'll find that the plugins are now available to you through these drop-down menus. So let's see here. For the Open Layers plugin, we can add the OpenStreetMaps layer. And if we give it a second here, it should pop up with OpenStreetMaps behind the scenes. And rendering sometimes takes a long time with OpenStreetMap, as many of you have already figured out. While this is rendering, hopefully, we can go in and show you some of the other differences between ArcGIS and QGIS. You'll notice that if you double-click on an object, you're going to come up with something like the layer properties. Here we can look at what our spatial reference is. We can change the style. We can change labels. We can look at the fields that are available. And all those sorts of things like joins that we would do through, and you're meeting my dog Zoe here. Sorry. And I think that that's it. Unfortunately, hey Zoe, sit. Sit, Zoe. Unfortunately, the OpenStreetMap thing isn't working because it seems like my internet is down. But hopefully this should give you a good basic understanding of how QGIS works.